Hello, and this is Rohan. And yeah, now we're gonna be making the Fire Emblem games tier list. Or remaking it, I should be saying, considering that. Yeah, we already did some games here. This is what my old tier list looked like, with these two games at the bottom not being on that tier list, so yeah. They're gonna need to be ranked now, so... Yeah, like I said, I made this tier list a long time ago. And yeah, it hasn't aged the best in my opinion, because I feel like my opinions have changed quite a bit when it comes to some of these games, especially after like replaying them again. So yeah, let's give it a go now, shall we? Let's start from the bottom and work our way to the top, and then we'll think about those last two games at the bottom there. At the end. So we've got the three games at the bottom. These are Fire Emblem Gaiden, which is the second Fire Emblem game. Shadow Dragon and the Blade of Light, which is FE1, the first Fire Emblem game. And then over here, Mystery of the Emperor, which is FE3. So, here's the thing about these three games, I haven't really played them. I haven't played FE1 and FE2, and then with FE3, I've only played Book 1. So, yeah, I don't really have personal experience with it, which is why they're at the bottom. My main experience is from my brother, because he's played all three, and he has told me about his playthroughs, and yeah, here's the general consensus that these games haven't aged very well, and the remakes are much better. Gaiden was like the worst offender to this, because the original Gaiden played so badly compared to its remake. And yeah, compared to FE1, it's aged like even worse, to be honest, because of like some of the stuff. I think one memory of Gaiden is watching my brother play Grease Citadel. He almost got the turn limit, that's how painful playing that map was. So yeah. Then there's FE1. Yeah, it hasn't aged very well either, but I think it has aged better than Gaiden at least. Because yeah, the gameplay isn't as stupid at points, so yeah. Because yeah, it does play like a traditional Fire Emblem game, but yeah, I think what really ages it though is how the inventory works and how the convoy works. Yeah, so that's why it's gonna be down there as well. Then we got FE3. Since FE3 Book 1, I have played it and also thought it was just fine. That's why it's in the C tier. So yeah. And then Book 2, yeah, I assume it just plays like FE12, but yeah, you always have to do ambush spawns, and yeah, it's probably a little bit easier than like some of the second lowest difficulty, which I think is hard mode in it's either normal or hard mode in FE12. So I assume it plays similar to that, but yeah, there are definitely some like weird stuff about like the wyverns very early on who have like 12 defense or something, which is ridiculous. Yeah, of course the ambush things, they're pretty bad to be honest. And yeah, there's also a lot of broken things you could do, mainly with like Nosferatu and stuff. So yeah, FE3 is definitely a very volatile game. I did have fun with Book 1, but that was a fun playthrough. I remember Trog being like an amazing unit to use, so yeah, that was fun. That's why I consider it C. And yeah, all those three games are not going to change, because I still haven't played them. So yeah, and my opinions of them haven't really changed. But yeah, now we might get into some changes here. So the next game is Awakening, and yeah, Awakening used to be my least favorite Fire Emblem game that I played, so yeah. But yeah, after my second playthrough of it, I do think it's better. But the question is, do I move it up? Because Awakening does feel like a lesser Fate in a lot of respect, except for like the cast and the story. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to think. Does it move up because of that, or not, is the thing. So yeah, I guess we can think about Fate as well. I've only played each route of Fates once. Conquest, also all of them are normal, I'm pretty sure too. But yeah, Birthright's pretty easy. Its plot isn't bad to be honest, and the units are pretty fun. Conquest is the best gameplay because the maps are really fun to play, hence why it's a tier above. And my playthrough was also really fun too, so that's why it's up there, and I think it's probably gonna stay up there too. And then Rev, yeah, there's a lot of problems with Rev, mainly the map design. Although, yeah, getting to use all the units is pretty neat. So, yeah. But yeah, this is not an easy choice, because, yeah, like I said, Awakening, even though I don't think it's as fun to play as Conquest, I say it's, like, on par with Rev and Birthright, just because, yeah, Birthright's pretty easy, and the maps aren't the most interesting in the world, especially when compared to Conquest. Awakening's maps are not very good, to be honest. It has some of the worst map design in this series, in my opinion. That's mainly coming from my brother, to be honest. Like, I don't think it's as bad as he says it is, but I can definitely see why he says it's bad. So, yeah. Yeah, like I said, though, I think I prefer the cast in Awakening, though, compared to Fates in general, which is probably why I'm thinking of moving Awakening up. Also, yeah, there are definitely... And also, yeah, even though, like, I'm not the biggest fan of Fates and Awakening's plots, Awakening definitely has the better plot. So, you know what? I'm thinking of maybe moving Awakening up to the top of C instead. So, the question is, does Rev or Birthright change? The answer is probably not, actually. Even though I enjoyed my playthrough of both, it's just that, yeah, they weren't very satisfying playthroughs. I think I really need to play Fates once again. Because, yeah, then I can get a clear understanding of how I feel about them, because, yeah, like I said, I've only played them once, so, yeah, it's kind of hard to judge a little bit, so, yeah. Yeah, at the moment, this is what I'm feeling. Of course, yeah, a lot of these games can also depend on my mood. I feel like some of these games can move around depending on how I feel about them, so yeah, it's kind of weird like that, but anyway. Let's go on to Conquest. Yeah, I don't think Conquest is going to change. Like I said, the gameplay is actually really good. It felt really fun to play on normal mode. My playthrough is really fun too. Yeah, but I think compared to like the games above it, I don't really like it as much. Although it is very close, it's just that, yeah, I say I like the gameplay just as much as like FE7. And maybe some of the other GBA games, it's just that, yeah, the plot wasn't very good. I don't really like the cast as much, even though, again, I had a lot of fun playing it. It's just that, yeah, outside the gameplay, Conquest feels a bit weaker. So yeah, that's why I'm thinking it's, gonna stay where it is. FE7 now. So I did play FE7 on the channel. I feel like all the Fire Emblem games I played on the channel have improved my opinion of them. I think the only one that hasn't really is FE7. Even though I do have more respect for the plot, because compared to like FE6, the Lord's interactions are a lot more interesting. So that made the plot interesting. It's just that, yeah, I don't think the plot of FE7 is as good as FE6 is. So yeah. And then gameplay-wise, I feel like FE7's fun to play. I've always liked playing it. It's just that, yeah, nowadays I feel like the other GBA games are more fun to play in my mind. So yeah, even though, yeah, Hector normal mode is quite fun to play. That's definitely my favorite to play. But yeah, I feel like Binding Blade normal mode and then Sacred Stones just feel a little bit more fun to play. So yeah. Especially because, yeah, Sacred Stones adds a lot of new things that spice up the gameplay. So yeah, I don't really see FE7 changing where it is, unless we want to change Free Houses. So yeah, Free Houses, I played it a lot, so I know a lot about it. Same with my brother actually, so yeah. I feel like, here's the thing about Free Houses, if it was just Azure Moon, I feel like it would actually be A tier, but I'm ranking it as a whole, and because of that I feel like it drops down to a B, just because, yeah, you have stuff like Crimson Flower, which aren't very good at all, to be honest. The maps aren't terrible in Crimson Flower, except for the final map, but yeah, the plot, yeah, I don't like it that much. And then there's like Venom Wind and Still Snow. Well, I don't mind the plot there that much, to be honest. The routes just feel too similar, so the gameplay just doesn't feel as interesting. Although Venom Wind does get a pretty cool final map, not gonna lie. And then, yeah, Azure Moon, definitely the best. The best plot, the best gameplay, the best cost, probably, yeah. And yeah, like I said, if that was the whole game, I'd probably put it in A. I think, because of Freehouse's issues, mainly like, yeah, the monastery isn't the greatest. It definitely got streamlined in the next game, Gauge. And then the map design isn't very good either. Definitely not as fun as, yeah, like Conquest, GTA games, and Gauge as well. So yeah. And also, yeah, Maddening mode is badly designed. That's another thing too. Although yeah, I'm not gonna count that towards it too much because I haven't played Maddening mode, so yeah. But yeah, I think Free Houses should stay there. Although yeah, again, I could see it actually moving up, despite how negative I was saying about it. It's just that yeah, I have played it a lot, I know about it a lot, I had a lot of fun playing it. It's a fun game to talk about too, so yeah, there's definitely a lot of good things about Free Houses. And yeah, I feel like also some people criticize it too harshly either. I criticize it kind of harshly, to be honest, as well, but yeah. I'm definitely not as harsh as someone like my brother, so yeah. Yeah, like I said, I don't think it's gonna move up. I think it's gonna stay there, to be honest. I think that's just right, above FE7, because yeah, I feel like I have more fun playing Free Houses over FE7, but compared to the rest of their games, I'm not so sure. So yeah, let's keep it there. Now let's go on to the A tier. Yeah, Shadow Dragon. So, Shadow Dragon, I need to play it again. Guess what's happening soon? I've only played it once, but I have seen my brother play a lot, and yeah, it definitely seems like a very solid game. Like, yeah, the raid class is pretty cool. The gameplay is pretty cool. Like, yeah, hard 5 is kind of badly designed, but that's only really in the beginning. It actually mellows out later, according to my brother. And yeah, most of my experience is definitely from my brother. He's played Shadow Dragon quite a bit, so he definitely knows what he's doing. So yeah, I say Shadow Dragon deserves to be that even higher than Free House. It's just like, yeah, I guess the plot is pretty good. Shadow Dragon also has really good writing as well, which yeah, that'll be fun to show off. And yeah, quite a fun game actually. Even though yeah, I don't like it as much as FE12, which is kind of an unpopular opinion. Now that I think about it, but yeah. Yeah, I just, you know, like it. I think it is... I definitely had fun time in my first playthrough and also watching my brother play it, so yeah, I think that's why it's in A. Like, I'm definitely seeing it move around once I played it again, because it has admittedly been quite a long time since I last played it. So yeah. That's one I can see definitely changing, but at the moment I'm going to keep it in the low A. For FE12 though, I'm actually going to move it back a bit. The main reason why is because the other games I enjoy playing a lot more. FE12 is definitely a fine game. It's an improvement on Shadow Dragon in my opinion in a lot of aspects, which is why I enjoy playing it a lot. I've also played FE12 a lot too, so yeah, that definitely helps. And yeah, there are some things about FE12 that I like that most people don't as well, like the assassin subplot. That I don't mind that much. Which is why yeah, FE12 gets there. And also the gameplay is not too bad either. And yeah, like I said, it's an improvement over Shadow Dragon in my mind. Even though, yeah, I've only experienced normal mode, it's very easy, but yeah, no ambush spawns is very nice, because yeah, those harder difficulties really, really punish you for, with those ambush spawns, so yeah. So yeah, I can't really say much else. Again, this I'm gonna be replaying as well, so yeah, it'll be fun to see what that will be like, and maybe my opinion of it will change. Then we got Sacred Stones and FE6. I believe that's how they're gonna be ordered. I can even see Sacred Stones going up a tier, because yeah, both my playthroughs of FE6 and Sacred Stones still on the channel really improved my opinion of them. Because yeah, Sacred Stones is that really good plot. It's actually like, yeah, even though I didn't think of it, even though I didn't really like it that much at first, once I started to learn more about it, and also learn more about that class too, it's amazing. So yeah, Sacred Stones is great in that regard. FE6, yeah, while the story, like the story itself is pretty good, like the main stuff. It's just that supports aren't super interesting and very hard to build up, and Roy himself is the most interesting. But the gameplay is actually really good. Yeah, it does have ambush falls no matter what the difficulty, but to be honest, they're some of the least bad in the series, so yeah. Shadow Dragon Hard 1 is kinda like that too, but yeah. And yeah, I just had so much fun playing it on the channel, so yeah. Everything's just felt like a really fun game to play in, but yeah, some of the maps aren't the best. Sacred Stones is definitely on the easy side, which is a lot of people like to talk about with that game, so yeah. But yeah, like I said, the plot's good. I also like the new features of the recasting and stuff, that's really cool too. So yeah, I definitely like Sacred Stones a lot, and yeah, I was glad to play it on the channel. I really enjoy it more than I did before. That's why, yeah, they're probably gonna stay like they are. I can definitely see maybe Binding Blade being better, because yeah, again, that was a very memorable playthrough. I really enjoyed that, but yeah, I think Sacred Stones is slightly the better game. Let's go to the S tier now. We have Frasier. I feel like Frasier is a game where my mood on it changes a lot. I've only actually played Frasier once, fully, because yeah, I feel like it is one of those games that does require a lot of, I don't know. It's just a game that I feel like I need to be in the right headspace to play, I guess, which is interesting, but yeah. I probably still rank it as S. The gameplay is some of the most interesting in this series. It's kind of hard at points, but yeah, it does sell the tone of the game really well. And then yeah, you also have a really good cast as well. While they don't get support, what they do is really interesting, and there's some amazing characters too. But yeah, Jukju just has an amazing cast, which is why yeah, I quite like Frasier. I think I still do as well. And the other thing, like my brother's playthroughs and stuff, yeah, I think it does deserve its place in S. Especially because, yeah, I think a lot of things about the games in S are that memorable moments in my playthroughs, as well as watching people play them as well. And yeah, just like, yeah, a lot of fun with units. So yeah, I think Frasier still deserves its place in the S. Let's go into Genealogy, which might move up. I think, yeah, Genealogy is still, like, one of the most amazing games I've played in this series. Like, yeah, an amazing plot. Gameplay is still really good even nowadays, even though it hasn't aged, like, super gracefully. It's definitely one of the best classic Fire Emblems. And yeah, I feel like this is the game that really shows off why Kaga is, like, so revered, I guess. There's just so much he did in this game that just completely blew my mind. So yeah, to be honest, yeah, I do actually see it moving up. I feel like these three games here, Genealogy, Path of Radiance, and Frasier, like to move around a lot, so yeah. So yeah. But yeah, Path of Radiance, the thing about Path of Radiance is that it's basically like a game with like very little wrong with it. Like, the story is amazing. The gameplay is amazing. It's easy, sure, but it's kind of like Sacred Stones, where it's well designed, even if it's on the easiest side. Yeah, and yeah, I love fun playing it too. It also has some of my favorite units too. That's also for the Radiant Dawn versions, but yeah, they're still quite fun to play in Path of Radiance. Like, of course, my girl Mia, but also like Jill is an amazing unit too, even though she's kind of broken as well, but yeah. So yeah, that's why I think, you know, Path of Radiance deserves to still be in us. I have played it twice. Kind of a pain of a game to get running on the emulator, but oh well. It's definitely worth it because yeah, it's definitely one of the best designed farms in this series. And were it not for it being stupidly hard to obtain, I definitely recommend it as like a first time game out of all of them. So yeah, that's why yeah, Path of Radiance is gonna stay there. But like I said, I think FE4 just wowed me even more, especially after playing it again, so yeah. I think that's like Path of Radiance gonna be there. But yeah, maybe Path of Radiance deserves another playthrough to see if my opinion's changed about it. Then we got Echoes. So yeah, you might be wondering why Echoes is all the way up there. Here's the thing about me and my brother. We both, like Echoes a lot more than most people do. The main reasons why are that we love the plot, and also the presentation too. The presentation is some of the best in the series, in fact, if not the best. My brother even thinks that Echoes has like the best voice acting in the series too. I'm not so sure if I agree with him there, but it's amazing. I can definitely see why. There's definitely some performances that are so good, like Richard Epcar as Children, for example, so yeah. Keith Celestine as Saber 2 is amazing too. Those are just some of the ones that come to mind. I think another reason why Echoes is all the way up there is that we both think that the gameplay is underappreciated. That might seem weird because it kind of stand map design and stuff, and Echoes is known for having bad map design. But the thing is, I feel like it's a bit overblown. The gameplay is just fine. In fact, I have a lot of fun playing it too. I don't know, it just feels right to play. I think one thing that really helps Echoes for me as well is that you are able to deploy a whole army, so everyone feels like they have a use, which I really like. And yeah, a lot of the annoying stuff in the mats can be countered by some overpowered things on your side, mainly Hunter's Holy. Hunter's Holy makes things a lot easier with some of these mats, so it's definitely nice to have around. And yeah, there's so many memorable moments on my side of playing it too. I played it twice. Both playthroughs, Forsyth was a menace, which is amazing, and Delphia, I love using her so much. My second playthrough, my brother even suggested something odd for her, giving her the Trigger Shield. So she actually tanked things, which was amazing. And so, it's super memorable too. I would probably give her the Mage Ring to increase her range later on, but that was still hilarious. I love that so much. Yeah, like I said, Echoes is just amazing experience, and yeah, me and my brother both love this game so much. I can definitely see why. Just yeah, think about this game just makes me happy, and also all the fun times me and my brother have of playing it. So yeah, that's why it goes up there. And yeah, it's probably the best modern Fire Emblem, which is funny to think about, but yeah. And then lastly, Radiant Dawn is my favorite game in the series. Yeah. While the plot isn't as good as Path of Radiance, I feel like the gameplay is even better, because yeah, it just does so many things that I find so cool. Like Part 3, for example, with the splitting of the armies. You fight on both sides of the wall, which is an extremely cool idea. And then yeah, you also have like, even though the map design isn't very good in Part 4, splitting up the armies and then deciding who goes where is extremely cool. I still think the plot is actually decent. Yeah, like I said, it's not as good as Part 3 is, but still like really, really good. And yeah, the unit customization and stuff is amazing too. I like that you can swap around skills and stuff, and yeah, this game also has some of my favorite units in the series. Mia and Ha. So yeah, and I've also had fun with other units too, so yeah. And yeah, this is a fun game to experience with my brother as well. But yeah, I think, yeah, Radiant Dawn is what I think of when Fire Emblem was mentioned, to be honest. Or the best of Fire Emblem, should be saying. So yeah, it's a shame that it didn't do so great. Probably because, yeah, it got released on the Wii, and most people could play that didn't do a lot of the stuff on the Wii. It's mainly, it kind of felt like just a GameCube port, because of, you know, how similar it is, but yeah. I think, yeah, the Wii probably did help a little bit, because, yeah, battle animations are also amazing too, so yeah. Some of my favorite in the series, actually, as well. I didn't really talk about that much throughout, but yeah. I mainly been focusing on the gameplay and the story, but yeah. Like I said, Radiant Dawn, yeah. There's just a lot of things I love about, and yeah, I would like to maybe show off on the channel again at some point, we'll see. Because yeah, it is my favorite game in this series. I could talk about Radiant Dawn for a good amount of time, and yeah, lovely, lovely game. And yeah, I can't really say much more. Also, yeah, I think Endgame too. I think Endgame is one part where Radiant Dawn really shines. It's an amazingly epic endgame. So yeah, so yeah, that's another good one for Radiant Dawn. I cancelled off both Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn in an amazing way too. Anyway, let's go on to those last two games that I haven't been able to tier yet. we have Tearing Saga and Farm Engage. So Tearing Saga, I played it after I made my first tier list. Same goes for Engage, obviously. So yeah, Tearing Saga. I think one thing about Tearing Saga is that my first playthrough of it is probably one of the best first playthroughs I've had of a farm game. So, because there's so many amazing things happen. Like, all the bad units are actually kind of good. I proved Clingy wrong kind of by making Luca actually something. Krishna was also there, and then of course, Lena, I do believe, the Est Cav. Again, I had no idea why she decided that she wanted to get all that strength alongside her excellent movement, but yeah, it was amazing. Definitely my favorite Est in the series now, so yeah. Yeah, like I said, so many fun things I read on Tearing Saga, and yeah, talking about this game too during Clingy's playthrough was amazing as well. Because yeah, I decided to play alongside him, and yeah, that was amazing. So yeah, where does it go then? That's a hard one. It's definitely gonna be high A at least. So like, maybe around here. Because yeah, even though I love playing it so much, yeah, it's definitely not as polished as Sacred Stones, or even Binding Blade. Although yeah, I don't know if it's better than Binding Blade or not. I'm gonna say it kind of is, but only slightly. Those two are very close to me, in my opinion. So yeah, because yeah, like I said, it's not a perfect game. Like yeah, the plot is actually pretty good, but there are definitely some pretty weird points in it. And yeah, even though the gameplay is slow throughout, I don't think the map design is like considered very like top tier or anything. So yeah, that's why I'm probably gonna keep it there. But yeah, I do appreciate that's not too difficult either. And yeah, Kaka definitely did a good job with this one. But yeah, I feel like he did even better with Genealogy and Frasier, which is why those are up there. But yeah, Tearing Saga, amazing game. Yeah, if you want more Fire Emblem games to play, I recommend it. Then we got the big one, Fire Emblem Engage. Where does this go? So yeah, if you couldn't tell where I lost there, yeah, I think the gameplay is some of the best in the series. Even if the plot isn't all that. So I say that puts it in the A tier over here. So yeah, like I said, gameplay is phenomenal. It has some of the best replayability in the series too. Yeah, the plot isn't all that, to be honest, but it's definitely not the worst thing I've seen in a lot. So I think it deserves its place in A, to be honest. So yeah. I don't think it stands out as much to me as my favorites, which are like most of the S tier ones, but yeah. Mainly because yeah, if the plot was good, I could actually see it rivaling Radiant Dawn because of how good the gameplay is. But yeah, the story's only okay, even though yeah, I do like the cast more than most people, so yeah. So yeah, that's why I think that yeah, it deserves to go in the A tier. So yeah, now that that's all done, yeah, we made the tier list. So again, not too much changed. We may have just added the 2 new games onto it. But yeah, this is how I'm feeling at the moment. Again, a lot of these could change, mainly like Shadow Dragon, and if I decide to play Fates again. So yeah, I can definitely see again a lot of this changing around, but yeah. This is the mood I'm feeling, and yeah, I hope I explained good enough why I feel like the games are placed where they are. And yeah, I hope that was an interesting enough video to watch, so yeah. And yeah, next time, I still want to take a small break from my LPs, so yeah. Next video won't be Shadow Dragon just yet, like I said. And also, that'll give me more time to prepare for it too. Again, I want to be at my very best when I decide to do Shadow Dragon, so yeah. Again, hope the wait isn't too painful, I guess, and yeah. Let me know what your tier list would look like too, I'm curious, so yeah. And yeah, if I wouldn't mind hearing like opinions and stuff too, and then yeah, we could get like a discussion going as well. So yeah. But yeah, so this is an interesting one to make, and yeah. Think about these Fire Emblem games too. Yeah, that was also really interesting too. So yeah. So yeah, there we go. So yeah. So I hope you enjoyed that, and yeah, I'll see you guys for whatever I decide to have